Like how big do you think the macro picture is going to look like? Any predictions you have in the next cycle?
Well, so I like the fact that you're saying cycle and not putting a specific time frame on it. I think I've been in crypto, really for maybe over 10 years since I've owned Bitcoin, but 9 years at Ripple. The thing that's really hard for me to predict are the timelines.
Correct.
And so when I hear people are trading crypto, I always think, oof, I don't think I could trade crypto. I mean, there's some patterns that I feel like I see, but I give my closest friends the advice of just like, you got to think long term. You can't think about where this is going to be in 5 weeks or 5 months. Where is it going to be in 5 years? I mean, frankly, I'd like to be able to say, like, think about where it's going to be in 50 years. And that goes into some core macro principles that I believe incredibly strongly in, which is we, unfortunately, as citizens of the world, can't trust our governments to manage monetary supply in a long-term responsible way. There's a lot of evidence to support that sentence, right? The US dollar, arguably the best managed currency in the world, has been devalued through inflation by, over 90% in the last 50 years.
Is it 90% in the last 50 years?
If you do that, like just an adjusted, what was it? $100,000
purchasing power.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Incredible.
So, do we think that's going to get better or worse?
Wow. With the printing press.
I think it's probably going to get worse.
Yeah. Makes sense.
And that's the best managed currency. And by the way, we can argue about, actually, I should retract that a little bit. One of the best managed currencies. I mean, US dollars, I think many would say, if not the best and most
carefully we're the reserve currency. Yeah.
But I mean, and that's the best one. So I think it's inevitable. And it's inevitable that, right now we're talking about is 2.5 trillion. Look, do I think this is an easy 10x over the next 5 to 10 years? Yeah, no problem. That doesn't freak me out when I say that at all.
Like, that's conservative. If you
that feels safe. I mean, to the earlier conversation about asymmetric returns, is there a chance that it's 100x in that time frame? That feels aggressive, but I don't know. I think that many people in the United States, particularly, don't understand what it would be like to have lived in Argentina and have the Argentinian peso devalued effectively to zero multiple times in my lifetime. Why would you hold that currency?
We don't realize that could become us.
That's exactly the point, right? Like, I think that we underestimate what that macro dynamic looks like over the long term. And so I'm, incredibly bullish. The reason I'm dodging the question only slightly because what's the timeline for this year? I mean, I have said publicly, I think that the market will be over 5 trillion by the end of this year, which is a double from where we are now. How that applies to Bitcoin versus XRP. I mean, people forget, before the SEC got involved and said that ETH is not a security, XRP was the second most valuable digital asset.
Wow. That wasn't that long ago. That wasn't long ago. What, 3-4 years?
It was 2018 when Hinman gave his speech. So 6 years, a little less than 6 years ago. Yeah, five years and change. And, look, when a government actor gets involved, markets change, and maybe that's to be expected.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you still have that government actor involved. Unfortunately, you still see, and I believe what I read usually, look, it appears the SEC is trying to mount a case against ETH. To me, that's absurd. To me, that's like, you've already lost a bunch. Why would you keep fighting this fight?
Yeah.